Call it garbage. Look us up on Rumble, YouTube. One word, no spaces. Like, follow, and subscribe, and we appreciate it. We're going to look at the black box from the deadly Washington, D.C. plane crash that was recovered.
Diversity and inclusion policies may have been a cause of the
BBC
fatal
News.
air crash in Washington, D.C. We're going to speak to our correspondent, Merlin Thomas, who's at Reagan National Airport. Reagan, before we get on to that point, I wonder if you could just clarify one thing for me. Obviously, investigations have begun, but we're talking civilian and military here. Will that investigation for both come under the NTSB? Do we know?
It still remains to be seen which official bodies will be issuing those reports, but we do know the NTSB will issue a preliminary report in 30 days. But that is still a long way to go for many of those who are seeking answers to this fatal crash and this tragedy that has taken place. For now, the recovery operation has been paused because the conditions have been deemed too difficult to work in. And just to remind you, it is incredibly cold here, and I'm looking out at the icy Black River of the Potomac, and it is freezing conditions there too. And we've heard of some of the difficult conditions that the divers have been working in. We heard from the president of the Firefighters Association here in DC, who talked about some of the really graphic scenes that his divers have been contending with during their recovery efforts. And he even described his divers, their wetsuits being cut on the debris of the wreckage
So it ain't
of
like
the
8
crash
foot of
in
water,
the
I
river.
think, though.
And that's just a reminder that there is still a lot of the wreckage left, and that is something that the recovery operation and the divers will look to be working on and work through to salvage some of the aircraft in order to retrieve those who are still missing.
A very delicate operation because obviously you're in a river, moving water. You don't want to lose those bodies. Let's turn to comments made by President Trump. What exactly has he said, and why is there outrage in a matter of hours?
He said, do you have
since
any
this
Grey
incident?
Poupon?
What?
Do you have any Grey
So
Poupon?
President Donald Trump has appeared to link diversity hires in the aviation sector with the cause of this fatal crash. And he didn't provide any evidence as to why this was the case. And he was pressed on it several times at a press conference. And when reporters asked him, the only thing he could come up with is that it was common sense. That's what he said. And this is something that he has been keen to focus on in his first week of
She
the
knows nothing
administration.
about
He
that.
has already said he would
Common
cut
sense.
federal funding to diversity programs amongst federal workers. And so this is really something that is part of his repertoire, something that he is keen to focus on and say that he is waging the war on woke. That is something that he has repeated time and time again. And so this is something that he brought up in the press conference regarding this particular fatal crash. And it's been met with fierce criticism. So former Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg called his comments despicable, and U.S. House Senate Leader Chuck Schumer called his comments idle speculation. And, you know, we've heard of some more subtle criticism from the governor of Kansas, who said that actually in the first day or so of in the aftermath of this tragedy, the focus should really be on the victims and the families of those loved ones who were involved in this tragedy, rather than any speculation as to what has happened and any of these speculations. It should really be, the focus should be the families.
Just very quickly then, Merlin, from speculation to fact. There has also been reports of near misses, other near misses around that particular airport. Can you add to that in any way?
There's a lot of caution being held around this airport. Of course, you know, once such a tragedy has happened,
No, that was before,
looking quickly
lady.
to see what can be done to prevent such a thing happening again.
Yeah, there's
and
the
so
switch
they
up.
are looking to the safety practices around the aviation sector. You know, the U.S. is upheld as a place where the aviation sector safety standards are incredibly good, but they are looking to ask how this has happened. And you know, this area around D.C. is incredibly
Well, I can tell you how it happened.
The
helicopter flew right into the plane.
Yeah, how do you think it happened?
Huh?
Why do you think it happened? What's your theory on it?
I'm not going to say my theory right now.
Say your theory. What's your theory on it?
Come on.
Well, I don't know if this is true,
I mean,
but I did see
It's
a
a
thing
tragedy that
on
happened,
TikTok.
but
I did
what's your
see
theory?
Well, yeah, it's a tragedy. Yeah,
Definitely
of
a
course.
tragedy.
But I seen a thing on TikTok where they said it was a transgender flying that helicopter. and it was suicide. That's just what I saw. I don't know that it's true, but I did see that. And then look, I tried to go back to the post and it was taken down.
Yeah.
So but I know everything on TikTok's not
I
true.
read that too. I read that it looked like a suicide mission.
Right. I mean,
I didn't read the transgender.
That plane was lit up like the 4th of July, man. You can see it in the video. I mean, lights blinking. How in the hell did 2 other people with you too? And you missed, and didn't somebody say, "Hey, motherfucker, there's a plane right there"?
Yeah, I mean,
that's what I read. It was a suicide mission.
if you watch the video, it's like
It's right into it.
He just turns into it.
I mean, yeah, right into it. So I mean, it's
I didn't mean
nowadays I put nothing past anybody, and that's no joke, man. So and of course they're going to go about what Trump has said about something, and I mean, really.
Yeah.
They'll find anything wrong with that, anything that man says. They're
Oh,
going to decipher every little bit. And then the last one, that Joe Biden couldn't even talk. But, they run that scheme all them years,
Here's this it right here. I think this is a video of it. Let's see.
Disregard the plane on top.
Oh, okay.
You can see that flash of light beneath it, and that is what we're focusing on. Military helicopter and a passenger flight right here.
Yeah.
Moment of impact in 3.
Look how lit up that plane is.
That's
I mean, damn.
He went right for it.
You know, what's amazing at a time like this,
Went right
a city
for it.
that's always on the move.
You can't get around there. That's
you have
crazy.
people driving through, driving in and out of D.C.
What do you
towards
think,
Virginia,
Jamie?
when you see this happen.
I don't know, man. I sort of stand on that theory that I heard.
It's usually such a majestic sight to see these planes taking off and landing, and that's why
I don't know.
I mean, he flies. You can see it right there in the video. I mean,
Straight into it.
Straight
They try to
into
say
it.
they had night vision goggles on when they was flying the helicopter and all this bunch of bullshit. But I don't know, man.
Just have to wait and see, won't we?
Yeah, and it'll take forever for them to come out with what really happened, especially
About 2 years from
if
now.
it was a transgender, they're going to try to hide it as
Oh,
much
yeah.
as they
That's
can.
classified for 40 years.
It's pretty funny. They want these people around, but these are the fruitcakes that are doing everything now. You know, so who knows, man? Thank God that Trump's done canceled that shit.
Well, that's probably what drove, if it was a transgender, do a suicide mission.
That's what I'm saying. No, he's getting ready to get fired.
Yeah.
Hey, who's to say that the two?
Who
Hey,
knows?
who's to say the 2 people that was flying with him saying, "Hey, today's your last day, motherfucker. You better make this your last flight." And he's like, "Okay, well, I'll fix y'all's ass. I'll run into that plane."
Yeah, that's crazy, ain't it?
But like I said, I wouldn't put nothing past nobody. Blue Collar Garbage, like, share, and subscribe.